This is Political Blind Date.
I do worry about whether or not you're banking on making these fundamental societal changes that are not going to yield the growth that we need in order to pay the debt that we're accumulating. In a nutshell. Do I think there should be more women on boards? Absolutely. But I think women have to go knock on the doors and say, hey, you should put me on boards. Barrier is this. Everybody wants to have a certain level of experience. We do the same thing with candidates. You got to be a municipal councillor or a regional councillor or a leader in your field or a board, a school board trustee. Yeah. Those are the people that we want to be our candidates, or a leading businessman. People do that in jobs as well. You have a set of experiences you think is correct. But for a lot of women, we just simply don't accumulate that because we've got other stuff going on. So you got to look for talent. And that's my advice to companies. Look for talent, not for experience. And the best place I found in the government to get this work done, Crown corporations. Putting women on boards of the Charlottetown Airport Authority or the Moncton Airport Authority. That's at least where somebody can be a hairdresser, but is really smart because she's running her own shop and her own business and can bring skill sets to the board, but would never be thought of because she's not a doctor, a lawyer, accountant, business person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I
That's the
agree with you
breakthroughs.
100%. But I do think we need to, as much as we can, have the women be able to see that there's opportunities there, and I think that's one of the things that that Justin is trying to explain. Are we going overboard in the political correctness? Probably. But I think the fact that he's out there is expressing it is at least giving women the opportunity to think about it. Maybe I can try that field. But it may be happening anyway, I don't know.
You know, I ended up in science because the nuns said that if you're a smart girl, you're going to study science because everyone was going to be a doctor because that was the best job, was to be a doctor. And they succeeded. There's a ton of us who came out of our years at Holy Angels that studied science. Some are doctors, some are nurses, some are lab techs. But they did it because they told us what to do, quite frankly.
Yeah.
So it works.
But they were
Power
great
of suggestion.
teachers.
Oh my God, they were the best.
Yeah.
They were the best. And they had no fear of telling a student what they should do.
Well, that's true.
And, you know, so we ended up with a good generation of engineers. And I tell you, every girl in Honor Society with me in grade 12, we all ended up in science. Like the top marks all ended up in science in university and in our lives, which is remarkable when you think about it. If you're going to do an arts degree, you're kind of like, why are you doing an arts degree? You're smarter than that kind of thing. And now I find it fascinating that we've lost ground.
So why have we lost ground? And is what Justin's doing going to make any difference?
We lost ground because we let people make their own minds up. And people will make their own minds up based upon what they see around them. And right now, you don't see a lot of people saying that science is the way to go, and maybe your investments in science are going to do that.
Like when I went to school, I don't know about you, when I went to high school, I had to take 3 sciences.
Yeah.
Now, now you got a choice. You don't have to.
I know.
And so I think some of the compulsory programming forces you as a student to get into areas that you might not think were good for you. Like, I never ever thought I'd be in politics. I always thought I'd affirm. But as you get later in your life, you say, well, geez, I should maybe went to university and looked at that avenue. But you can't do it if you didn't have the basics to begin with.
Yep.
So part of the problem is maybe you're allowed too many choices when you're in 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
I think you're bang on, and I agree with you completely, and I worry about it a lot. In Ontario, we're really struggling with the math curriculum. So many kids my son's ages are failing out. They've botched it. They've botched it completely the last 20 years. And we're going to pay for it because if you talk about getting kids in science, they don't have math skills, and they're going to get lapped by everybody else. So it does start provincially.
It does.
And you have to have a little bit of confidence.
This is Political Blind Date.